Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
Start your day tomorrow with The Daily Dog with Michelle Forto, the morning podcast on Dogworks Radio. Apple Podcast reviewer Patty Christensen calls it funny, smart, and filled with all the info I want to know about dogs. I love this show. Wake up with The Daily Dog. Available on Dogworks Radio on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your shows.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Robert Forto from Mushing Radio. This winter I taught a course at the University of Alaska Anchorage titled The Winter Multisport Expedition. It's where we took a group of students out on a trip for a week over spring break where we taught them dog sledding skills, fat biking, and snow machining, and we interviewed each student at the end of the course. In this interview, we interview Jennifer Stone, who is also a professor at UAA. Here we go.
Radio Free Palmer 89.5 KVRF presents Mushing Radio, hosted by Robert Forto. Mushing Radio is about dog-powered sports, living in the Great White North, and mushing. Visit our website at mushingradio.com. Here is your host, Robert Forto.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Stone. I'm 45 years old and I'm a professor of English at UAA.
What was your expectation when you signed up for this course?
I knew it would be a challenge. It looked like a fun mix of activities, and so I was kind of excited to have a spring break adventure and learn some new skills.
What did you learn about yourself on this trip?
I really faced some fears on this trip. We did a few things that really pushed me out of my comfort zone. Like, I had done a little bit of dog mush riding before, but I had never really experienced mushing on technical trails. And so some of the hills and turns were really, really hard to face. And I was able to kind of learn from some mistakes and learn how to control the sled and learn how to fall without letting go. And so I think that was really a big deal. Bike joring was also really challenging. I was terrified to get on that bike with dogs pulling me, and I really had to force myself to do that. And I had a great time, and I fell a couple times, but it was no big deal. So,
What did you learn about the dogs?
They all have their own little special personalities, and everyone's so different. The first time I came out, it was just like a bunch of dogs, and I had no idea who was who, and it was hard to learn all their names and who would jump up and nip at you and who was really sweet. But spending so much time with the dogs, we really learned how each one is special and how fun they are and how much they enjoy dog mushing and being together and working as a team.
Do you have a favorite and why?
Let's see. I think my favorite memory of the expedition...
Oh, no, favorite dog.
Favorite dog. Oh, my
Yes.
favorite dog. Okay.
Yes.
My favorite dog is Burton. He is such a little knucklehead, but we just love each other, and he gives good hugs, and we would just kind of, anytime I walk by, he jumps up and wants to hug me, and he has this reputation of biting people's faces, but he hasn't so far gotten mine, so it's just probably why I love him so much.
And do you have a favorite memory from the course or on the trail?
I think the favorite, it's not so much a specific moment, but like when we went out on the expedition, we had a couple really tough boot camps, and we had some really challenging experiences as a group and individually, and seeing that we could all come together as a team and work together and work with the dogs and make it through challenging weather conditions and not have a lot of issues out on the trail, that was really exciting. And to be able to kind of come back to these trails and mush a little more after we had done the expedition and see how much everyone had learned. We all had the language down. We all knew the dogs. We were able to do hills that would have knocked us over or hurt us to begin with. We were all able to do those confidently, and if things did happen, like a couple times we did fall, but we held on and got right back up. And so it was cool to see how much everyone progressed through the expedition and through all the boot camps.
So the next question for you, Jennifer, is do you have a favorite memory from the trail? Favorite story from the trail? Favorite story. Kind of being at Red Shirt was my favorite time. We made it out there. We were all super nervous because we had heard all these stories of overflow, and we were worried about falling in the water and getting wet, and we all made it out there, and then we had all this great time to just hang out as a group and play silly games and just camp out, and that was a lot of fun. That was a great camp memory, I'd say. So I'm going to add a question for Jennifer. Since you are a professor at UAA, and this is a UAA course, how does this compare to what you do in your line of work and to other courses that may be offered in other college-type settings? Yeah. So I think, so I teach writing and I teach about linguistics, and those are both really challenging subjects. Like, people really struggle in those classes, and it was cool to see a very different skill set, but see how instructors worked to problem solve with everyone's individual challenges. And I think those in some ways are really similar. In other ways, they're really different. Like, my students generally aren't going to injure themselves from writing or learning about language. And here, there's all these hooks and dogs that could bite you and things that can go wrong, hills that can wipe you out. So it was really interesting to see how people teach in that sort of extreme physical and potentially dangerous conditions. I definitely think safety is the number one priority on this kind of trip, and seeing instructors work through the safety issues was really fascinating for me. And lastly, would you recommend this course to a friend, and why? I definitely have some friends that I think would love this class. I think it's the right class for someone who's really, really enjoys a physical challenge and a mental challenge. So those would be the kinds of people I would recommend this to. If you love to sit on your couch and watch TV and don't get outside much, this is definitely not the class for you. But if you love to get out and learn new things and face your fears and be challenged physically and mentally and kind of bond with a new group of people you never really knew before, this was definitely a great experience for that. And that was our interview with Professor Jennifer Stone of the University of Alaska, Anchorage, and she was a participant on this year's Winter Multisport Expedition course at UAA. I hope you enjoyed it. Join us next time. Goodbye.
Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michelle Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.
Hi guys, it's Alex. If you're a fan of sled dog sports and the Iditarod, Mushing Radio is the show for you. Each Wednesday we drop a new episode on Dogworks Radio, so be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from.
If you like our podcast, there are a few things you can do. You can take a couple of minutes and go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also check out all of our Dogworks Radio sponsors and promotions in our show notes. Another thing you can do is go over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, and one last thing, please tell all of your friends by spreading the word about Dogworks Radio. Thank you so much for listening to us. We really appreciate you.
Dogworks Radio is produced by Robert Forto. Logo art by Angry Squirrel Studios. Dogworks Radio is produced in conjunction with KVRF 89.7 in Palmer, Alaska.
For dog training advice, you can contact Alaska Dogworks at 907-841-1686 or visit their website at alaskadogworks.com. If you have a show idea or would like to be a guest, please contact us by sending an email to live@dogworksradio.com.